Welcome back, beautiful Brigandine fans, to your ring guide for Brigandine, the Legend of Runersia. So today we're going to go ahead and cover human rings and what it's like to equip them and what they kind of do in this game. So we're going to go ahead and cover all of that. So be prepared and not scared. Also, if you could smash the like and or subscribe to the channel, that would be absolutely awesome. We have, I think, 7 more videos to do for this, for equipment, and then we're going to move on to humans. So it's been quite a long haul, quite a journey, a lot of videos to make for this sort of thing. So we're going to get onto that and get into that, and I'll also try to make some other videos as well, and I've got some Grand Edition stuff to go over too. So that'll be for later on. But let's check this out today. And if you're new to the game, there are 3 tiers of rings. Ones with yellow wording, which are the best. Purple wording, which are the middle tier. And the white wording, which are the normal gear that you typically get. And so the stars and the wording both basically mean how good it is and how rare it is to find it when you're questing for it, okay? Just as a disclaimer in case you're new to the game. So let's put on the Psychic Medallion and see what it does. Press X to look at the details here. Now this one actually gives us experience gained plus 10%. So if you're looking to get a knight up as fast as possible into a better position, this is a pretty good piece of gear to actually equip. Okay. All right, let's check out some other stuff here. We've got the Magic Medallion. And what does that do? It gives us 5 MP, so that's actually quite good in case we want a little more MP. So we get that right there, so that's quite good. All right, so let's move up to the Pairing Medallion. All right, what does this do? This one gives us a shield block rate of plus 3%. So this ring is going to be good for those knights that have shield block or parry rates. So Royal Guards or knights to paladins to dark knights and that sort of thing. Okay. Alright, let's move on down here and see what's up next here. So these are all the rings you can get in the game. I don't believe I've missed any of them, and I believe I have all the pieces of gear that you can get in this game here. So let's go and look at the Life Medallion. As you can see, Life Medallion gives you hit points. Let's pop it on there. 5 HP, it's pretty good. Let me get my cursor over here so I can draw a little bit, but yep, essentially you're going to see a little stack growth on some things, and some pieces of gear, whoa, that's a big check mark, but that's some pieces of gear will actually give you a negative to something, and it could be on different kinds of gear, so we'll have to look and see if there are any negative pieces of gear in here. All right, so we check out the Swift Medallion, and that's 3 agility right there. Agility is really good if you want to have your knight try to dodge some stuff. That would actually be really good for that. Also, agility helps you with accuracy too, so if you're having accuracy issues, you know, that's something you have to probably think about. All right, wisdom. What is wisdom other than intelligence, right? According to this game, according to a lot of things too, yes, you get 3 intelligence right there, which is quite good. So you get that. It's pretty cool. All right, so let's move on here. It's a lot of this, the white stuff is going to be very basic kind of thing. Oops, hopefully there wasn't a pop in the audio. But anyways, Power Medallion, what does that do? Well, obviously strength and attack. Okay, so really it's giving you a little bit of strength, which is giving you some, you know, a boost of attack as well, because strength actually helps determine your attack, and your attack overall is really what determines how much damage you're doing in the game compared to their defense, and also orb affiliations and that sort of thing. But strength is right there, and 3 for that is really good. Typically, if you're a fighter, Power Medallion might be the way to go. Okay, then after that we got the Black Amulet, which really just gives us a black orb for defense. And now we're going to be looking at colors for these amulets here, so we don't really have to try equipping it too much, but you're going to see this little defensive shield here. We gain a purple orb for, you know, evil elemental defense, so you can defend against evil things a little better, but you're also weaker to holy things as well. So then the white amulet will give you a white dot defense, green amulet, green defense, blue amulet, blue defense. As you see, as it goes on, red amulet, red defense. Now, we're going to come to a changing of the words, or a changing, well, I can't say changing of the guards, but maybe in a way. We look at the amulets and amulets. Just remember the amulets in the game are going to give you defense. We're going to go up to the brooches. And the brooches, the black brooch, is not defense, it's offense. So it's going to give you offense. So for the most part of the time, I try to look for brooches over amulets because the brooches will give me an extra orb. And even if the orb doesn't complete your set, just having an extra orb still makes you that much stronger no matter what. So trying to stack up on your offensive orbs is typically the better way to go. I'm just saying, it usually is for this game in particular, because even if you're fighting against somebody with no orbs, your more orbs versus their no orbs still equates to more damage. The damage modifier for that is a little complicated for me to remember right now, but just trust me, you want more damaging orbs if you can. But if you have to play defense against something that's you're up against a bunch of dragons, maybe you're going to want to pop some amulets on just to have that red defense. You know, so, you know, take it with, you know, take each piece of gear into the battles that you'd like them to be in. And if you want to micromanage it, just remember, amulets are defense, orbs defense, different colors of orbs defense, and brooches are offense. Okay, so this gives you an extra offense. So the next one up would be white brooch. Then we got a green brooch, blue brooch, and a red brooch. So that's all the white gear right there. It really comes down to, like, you're getting some stats down here with some things, you know, you get a little bit of MP, HP, or agility, or intelligence, and then you're just going to add on orbs for defense or orbs for offense. So that completes that that tier right there. So let's check out the purple tier, and this one's very interesting. Flippers give you the ability to swim through water as if you are a water creature. So if you have this and you get up to a lake or a river or something like that, you'll be able to move about 5 spaces within the water, because now you're considered a land and a water terrain person. It's interesting. Flippers actually give you that ability, which makes sense. It probably should. So let's see what else is here. There's a Camouflage Club. So instead of being a water creature, now you are a forest creature, more like a mandrake. So your preferred terrain changes here, as you just see. You'll see this. Let me do this a little better here, but you'll see that this will change to something new. Okay. All right. So we're going to go ahead and, I don't know why it keeps going all the way back to the top, but Water Striders, go to swamp instead. You become a swamp kind of creature here, so you prefer moving through the swamps. Swamps and water and lakes, it seems like you can move through all of that about the same. So I don't know. It just the only difference between water and swamp, for the most part, that I actually know of, is that if you prefer swamp, you'll probably have maybe 10% more evasion and accuracy than you would if you preferred oceans or something like that. That's as much as I can remember about that. All right, so let's get on to the which one were we at here? Oh, and Lapis Animuses, those are fun too. All right, so we move to Wing Boots. This makes you sky. So basically, you're just not you're not on the ground. Now, in the original game, you'd be floating. Your little character would bob up and down and kind of float. Here, you don't know. It just might show like a Hermes boot or something like that. And you are preferred sky terrain, so you don't have to worry about terrain. Like, she could move 5 spaces in any direction, no matter what the terrain would be. Okay. That's essentially what the wing boots would do for her. Alright, let's move on to... This is going to be... I hope this isn't too long of a video. But... Okay, we've actually covered a lot. I don't think I'll be able to cover everything as far as like all-star bonuses and stuff here, because this will be a bit of a longer video, but it might not be too long, so hopefully not. Alright, Lapis Animus. So, she's already preferred forest terrain anyways because she is a troubadour, and troubadours prefer the forest. But what does the Lapis Animus do? As you probably thought, it inflicts Miracle Revival. So if you die, you come back. Now, the difference between coming back in this game versus Grand Edition or Legend of Runersia is the fact that if you come back in this game, your MP will be drained to the point that you already previously drained it at. In the previous game of Grand Edition or Legend of Runersia, if you Necro Rebirth, revive a monster back from the dead, it comes back with full hit points and full MP. In this game, if you already used up all the MP, you bring back the monster without any MP. So don't think of this like... I wouldn't really consider Lapis Animus to be good on wizards or anything like that, because if you burn out their MP, they come back. I mean, yeah, maybe you'd save your army from going bye-bye. So if that's the case, then sure. But honestly, it would just be better off on like a full-on knight or ruler or something like that, just to prevent you from, you know, losing the battle ultimately. So that's really what I have to say about that. But it's actually a pretty good addition, so you might really enjoy that. The only unfortunate side is it's in the second tier of gear, it's not in the gold tier, so it's like, well, if you want all gold gear, you're gonna have to kind of skip it if you want that all-star bonus, you know. Alright, Inishi's Metal, what does this say? Experience gained plus 30%. So it's like the first ring we saw, except for it's plus 30% experience more, right? So that's kind of cool. Parrying Metal. Alright, so this one is really for knights and for royal guards and lancers and that sort of thing. And it's going to shield block rate plus 7% and counter damage plus 7%. Very, very good piece of gear. You might want to consider equipping it to one of your knights that is gonna really be tanking a lot of stuff. Yeah, like full tanking, because extra counter damage basically means he's doing a lot of counter attacks. So you put this guy out there and he just takes a full barrage of attacks. This would be perfect for that kind of knight. Alright. Anti-Petrifying Ring, as you can see, inflicts Petrify immunity. So you're immune to Petrify. You're immune to Charm with this ring. You're immune to Paralyzing. It's pretty good. Immune to Fainting or Stunning from the previous games. Stun. You have little stars floating around on your head. That's the same thing right there. Anti-Silencing Ring. Perfect if you have a mage on your team to cast magic. Anti-Poison Ring. Could be good for some things, you know, you don't want to be poisoned. Also, you can put this on just to get the all-star bonus of all purple gear on the left side here, in case you didn't know what else to do. You know, just use that. Speedy Boots. Now this one's really good because it gives you an extra mobility. Look at that, plus 6. Or not 6, sorry, I should say you're up to 6 now instead of 5. But that's actually really cool that way. These are very, very useful. The speed boots are very, very useful. I love having extra mobility, especially in this game. It helps so much. Alright, Rallying Horn gives you an extra command range right down here, where there's this command range. The command range is your color bubble that comes around you that lets you be able to control your monsters, and so that'll push the ring out by 1 extra whole space, which is phenomenally huge. So you can probably add up all those hexagonal squares you're going to be gaining, and that's a lot of extra stuff right there. Okay, let's see what is up next here. Mana Metal. Now this one will give you 20 extra magic pool, or in the original game it was rune control. So this is 20 extra points to add an upgraded monster or something like that. Quite good. Acrobat's Metal. 4 extra agility, good for evasion, good for accuracy bonuses. that's for. Wisdom Medal here. We have MP plus 10. We have Intelligence plus 7. A very good piece of gear because not only the extra MP you might need, but 7 extra intelligence. You can't laugh at this piece of item. You cannot laugh at this piece of gear, and if you do, I don't know what to tell you. All right, Hero's Medal. This is one a lot of people would like, especially for a fighter. 10 HP, 5 strength, so it gives you a little bit of a defensive balancing act there, a little bit of buff with the defensive balancing there, and some extra strength. Very good piece of gear. Twilight Amulet. What's this all about? Look at this. Now remember when we went over the white rings that had the offense and defense added to them? The amulets and the brooches. The brooches are for offense. The amulets are for defense. Now we look at this, and all the amulets in the purple gear, all the amulets are also brooches. As you can see, 2 purple orbs defense and offense for the Twilight, 2 for the Sacred. They should have changed amulet to some other word. It would have probably been a little bit easier to probably remember overall, but anyways. Jade Amulet, 2 for offense, 2 for defense. Ice, 2 blues, offense, defense. And Crimson, obviously. 2 blues, offense, defense. So that's what happened with the purple set. But if you're trying to remember the original set amulets and brooches are, one is offense and one's defense, except for when it comes to purple gear. Purple gear gives you both in both sides. All right, Ego Mana Stone. Let's look at this one here. Inflicts Mana Stone's Grace. So this is, if you didn't get it by now, I actually guessed this before the game came out, and I was right. And it is for Stella. So this is Stella's Brigandine right here. And we'll have to show you if there was the Sanctity Mana Stone in here, which right now this file is Mana Celestia, so Rudolph's still alive, and so his Brigandine hasn't been turned into a ring. Essentially what happens in the game is you beat the other country and you break down their armor into a little ring, and you, the leader, or somebody else can wear this ring, but it is the Brigandine Mana Stone that was within the Brigandine gear that the ruler was wearing. So this is Stella's Brigandine right here, broken down into a stone, and it just gives you double black defense and inflicts Mana Stone's Grace, which is basically immune to petrification, silence, stuns, poisons, charms, a lot of things. You're immune to a lot of things. It's like having the inorganic body status, essentially. Here's the Freedom Mana Stone, which comes from Shinobi's tribe leader Talia. Here's Glory Mana Stone. This comes from Eliza in Gumol. Here is the Justice Mana Stone. This comes from Rubino in Rosalio. And you can see all the colors change because, you know, it's associated with their country. Alright, so that's it for the Brigandines. Rudo has the Sanctity Stone on, so you're not going to see the Sanctity Stone here, but pretty much the same stuff. It's just a double white orb defense with just saying passive skill inflicts Mana Stone's Grace. Alright, Zor's Tears. Now this is what I've done in certain fights, and this is nuts. This is a very interesting piece of gear. Whatever your stats say, if you have 300 rune magic pool, you got a command range of +10, whatever it says, this automatically lowers your magic pool -400. So you're going to be -100 magic pool and a command range of 0, if the math states as to what I said previously. Now you'd have to build up your guy with a whole bunch of potions to overset that, to offset that, to be able to have some monsters in your team again. So you have to go out questing for potions, obviously, for command potions and mana potions, right? But what this Zor tier does, one of the best things it does is inflicts double action. So you are essentially like the Zor illusion. You move twice in one turn. You can do 2 attacks in one turn. You're essentially a lizard lord. You can do 2 turns, except for it basically destroys your ability to carry monsters and have a command range. That's the downside of it. So when I said there were going to be some negatives to this, these are negatives to this particular piece of gear. But double action is if you just want to, like, I just want to have this one ruler just run around and just tear stuff up. I don't even care if he has monsters. This is where you stick this piece of gear on. It is one of the best pieces of gear in the game to have. Besides the down effects to it. If you know how to use it, you will love this piece of gear. Alright, so I put that on Rudo because it was fun. And I put it on her too. Alright. So here's the Ribbon of Ego. This one's interesting. Triple black attack, double black defense, defense of 10. Right? Defense of 10. Strength of 7. And command range of 3. This one's a very interesting piece of gear. So this boosts up your command range, gives you extra defense of 10 and extra strength and all black attack. So this would be a pretty good piece of gear if you wanted to fight, I don't know, Tim, Stella, maybe even Rudo too, because you could get some extra black orb attack on them. But yeah, it's a pretty interesting piece of gear. You might really enjoy this one. Let me know where you were able to use this. Okay, what else is next? Amulet of Glory. So they're going to go around with some other different kinds of orbs. And as you can see, the triple red orb here, agility of 6, magic pool of 20. You know, that's what it's doing there. It's kind of cool. So let's see what's up next. So basically we went with the Ribbon of Ego with the purple, the red, Mineral Talisman. What is this? This one is... Oh, this is the one that basically makes you like Umamaro and having a Brigandine equipped. Inorganic Body does the same thing that the Mana Stone does, essentially. And so that's what it does. Prevents you from getting stoned and prevents most status afflictions from happening to you, which is actually really cool. Spirit Medallion. Experience gained plus 50%. If you need to quickly get someone up there as high as possible, Spirit Medallion is where it's going to be. 50% more experience. Deadly Medallion. Now this one is if you want to crank out damage. The only unfortunate side effect to it is there is minus 15 defense. That is horrible. Minus 30 HP. That is horrible. But it brings up your crit rate and your crit damage. So your crit rate, the percent at which you could do a critical percent on them, let's say you had 10 or 15%, now you'll be up to 30 or 35% chance to do a critical. Now when you get the crit damage to hit, when you actually do hit land with a crit, it'll be 20% more crit damage than usual. So this is one of the best pieces of gear that a lot of people say that they like. I still like the Zor tiers a little better because going twice I could do more damage in 2 hits than maybe 1 crit, but that's arguable and it depends on the character too. Adamantine Metal, as you could imagine, defense of 10, magic resistance of 30%. This is one of the best defensive pieces of gear you can put on yourself. If you really need that extra edge of defense, Adamantine Metal will hopefully save you. Mercy Medallion. Command range of 1 and magic pool of 30. So if you need to have more monsters, or you need more movement because you've got a lot of Baumots or flying things, or you know, you just have the movement for that terrain, Mercy Medallion will help you get through it. Rapid Medallion. Rapid Medallion essentially is going to basically make you more agile. You can evade things, hit things more, and move further. This is perfect for Wyverns. This is perfect for Fenrirs and flying things of that sort, so you can get in, get out. Rapid Medallion would be a good thing, like especially for dancers and treasure hunters. Would be really good with this. Right, Sage Medallion does 20 MP, 12 Intelligence, so it's really just for like mages. And so Sage is for mage. You want to try to remember that. Peerless Medallion. This will give you 30 HP and Strength. So it's pretty good for fighters, I'd have to say. Obsidian Amulet. Now we're going back into the whole extra purple orb attacks and magic resistance, so that's right there. Celestial Amulet. Now we're pretty much doing the same thing we just saw with the Obsidian, except for instead of magic resistance, we're going to shield block rate percentage. So more for a knight, right? Alright, let's see what else is up here. Got the Earthen Amulet. Green attack. A little green defense. Critical rate, more like a swordsman. Piece of gear for extra crit rate percentage. Glacial Amulet's got to be blue, right? Some extra evasion, quite good. And Inferno Amulet, accuracy plus, and 3 red orbs and 2 red orb defense. So that's what that is. So that's pretty much all the rings in the game. I know this was like, I didn't expect this to be like a 20-minute video, but there's a lot of rings in the game, so I had to kind of cover some of them. If you want to check out what all the all-star bonuses are, make sure when you go to your equipment here, all of your pieces of equipment are all the same color. So hat, body armor, and weapon, and ring, they're all the same color, and you get to see some of that. I've already showcased that in some previous videos, but without making this video too long, I'm going to go ahead and close out here. You can check some of those things out in some other videos. Next video up will be some kind of monster equipment. I think monster helms or body armor, one of the two. And we'll finish off all the monster equipment. We'll go from there. But if you enjoyed this, definitely subscribe or like or something like that. Please let me know in the comments down below. What is your favorite piece of ring gear for this game? I'd like to know. There's so many. There's just so many. And especially for humans, because there's a lot of debate about like what's really good for each of them, right? So I'll go ahead and call it there. I'll see you in the next LP or helpful guide video. Thanks so much for stopping by, and take care.